Hi, Florida Trans Proud. Hi, this is Denise, and sitting right next to me is our new Vice President, the new VEEP to Florida Trans Proud, Jacoby Spicer.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I've known Jacoby for a little more than a year. We were in contact once before. Jacoby came from the east coast of Florida. We kind of lost touch with each other for a little while, and I'll let Jacoby talk about that. But we've recently, say about a month and a half ago, found each other again and got Jacoby here in Pasco County right now, and we are working to get some good things going and started for Florida Trans Proud. Um, Welcome.
Thank you.
What do you think? What do you think of lovely Pasco County?
I think everybody I've met here so far has been great. We went and got haircuts. My two kids and I went and got haircuts. I got my first nice short haircut from Denise's friend Pete. What's his barbershop called?
It's called The Barbershop.
The Barbershop. Okay.
Yeah, down in Newport Richie.
Yeah, he was amazing, awesome guy, great person, good to talk to, did an excellent job. So shout out to Pete. And so far it's been cool. Everybody's been really cool. There's a lot of people that I've met through the organization, through Denise, that have just been interesting. They've had a lot to say. We've been kind of networking with some of the agencies here and working with them to try to get some things, some momentum built up. So it's been interesting. It's been very interesting.
Now, we didn't really go over what we wanted to talk about or are going to talk about. I mean, we have some generalities, and I know that we're going to have an announcement that I'm going to let you talk about as far as a new direction for Florida Trans Proud. But first, is there anything that's really off limits at this point?
Not really. No.
I'd like to talk about your journey.
Okay.
Where you are in that, how it's been so far.
Okay.
Leading up to the announcement that we're going to have in a few minutes. Perhaps that journey a little bit. Share whatever you want. I don't want to throw it out there without talking to you about it first. But
Okay.
Everybody here that knows me knows I'm very open and I'm ready to talk about anything.
Right.
I think you're very similar in that, but again, because we didn't discuss beforehand
Right.
rules, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
can we talk about your journey right now and transitioning?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Jacoby's a trans man. If you didn't figure that out already, how long have you been? How old are you? Can you say?
Sure. I'm 40 years old.
And how has your journey been so far?
Rocky. It's been very rocky. I would use that word. I would say that most of my life I knew that something was up, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And because I'm older, it wasn't the accepting environment that it is now for kids and young adults who are going through the process. The thing is, even now there's a lot of discrimination, there's a lot of difficulty for people. They face a lot of odds when they realize that something is different about their gender expression, their gender identity. But in my case, back in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't there. The resources weren't there. So if I had brought this up at a young age, it would have been looked upon very negatively, and a lot of negative things could have happened. So it wasn't until I was, I guess, in my 30s that I was finally like, I'm tired of dealing with this. Something is not right. I need to find out more about it. And I had started looking for information online. And I remember watching a couple videos from some of the other well-known trans men at the time who were documenting their transition, and it just kind of dawned on me. It was like getting hit with a brick. So I realized that that's where I needed to get more information and start to learn more about, the fact that there were even avenues to take and ways to adjust different things to feel more comfortable, different processes and procedures that could take place. I had no idea.
For the longest time, did you kind of feel like maybe you were the only one around with these weird feelings or something?
I think when I was younger, yes. When I was younger, I felt like all the other girls are perfectly content being girls. They're happy learning about what they're going to be like as women and how their bodies are working and all of that, and they're happy to put on a dress and go out with their friends, and and I just
Was not you?
could not. No, I felt like a guy in a dress from like birth. Like as far back as I can remember, it was like super uncomfortable. I remember seeing pictures of my 5th grade graduation, and I was wearing like a skirt, and looking at the pictures, I have this, I can instantly recall the memory of how uncomfortable I was in that outfit, and I had no clue why. I thought I was just like going through a phase, and like, it's got to be something. The other girls here have to feel uncomfortable, but apparently that wasn't it.
So what have you done on your journey of self-awareness and becoming yourself, your authentic self? Have you started any hormone treatments, or started it and then quit, or where are we at with that?
So where we lived previously, and I'd rather not say where that was, but when we were living further north, right now we're in Florida obviously, but we lived further north, and we were, my kids and I, when I say we were just a single parent family. I was the only one. I didn't have good insurance coverage. I had medical assistance, and at the time when I was trying to find resources in my area, there was just nothing. It was like a dead zone. So I ended up having to go further out to try to find some, care providers. And when I did, the office that I found, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. They made a mistake. They didn't verify things properly, and after I had gone in for my initial appointment and gotten the first shot, the first T-shot, first of all I had a reaction. It was like a golf ball in my leg, and then it hurt. It was a big red thing, and then after that, when I called back to make a second appointment, they told me that my insurance couldn't be verified because the type that I had didn't accept the process that I was going through the way I was doing it. I needed a letter and counseling, whereas the office was informed consent. So the two didn't match up, and I had to stop at that point. And then I got down here in Florida about a year ago, and where I was in Florida, again, it was a dead zone. I was calling offices to try to get counseling so that I could move forward with that process, and they were like, didn't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I have one client that I do that for, but she started transitioning way before I met her, so I didn't have to do this letter. I'd have to research it. I don't know, anything about that. So it was like traveling back in time, and just did not go smoothly. And then when I got here, obviously you had already established some resources here. You already knew of people that were providers that had already gone through the process in this area. So it's been easier. I was set up with an appointment, and now I'm just waiting on that date to do the initial intake, and hopefully after that we'll get back on the road.
So that's with our good friends at Metro, right?
Correct, yes.
Metro Inclusive Health.
Right.
And we've got a therapist lined up.
Yes.
That you've been in contact with.
With the Family Alliance.
It's the Family Alliance, Amanda.
Yes.
And so, believe it or not, here in lovely Pasco County, we have gotten resources here. And if they're not here in Pasco County, then it's just right down the road, Pinellas County. Actually, Amanda and the Family Alliance is located in Hernando County. So we have the resources here locally to help out. And because of the networking that Florida Trans Proud has done over the last couple of years, we've been able to build a pretty extensive network all across the state of Florida, actually. So you talked about your haircut.
Right.
Uh, you were nice enough to let me post the picture of the barber shop
Right.
and cutting off that what I would call a beautifully long ponytail,
Hmm.
um, which you're donating.
Right. Correct. To Wigs for Kids. Yep. I'm donating to them.
How did you know? You said this is the very first time you've had a haircut like you have.
It is. It's the first time I've gotten it cut to anywhere above my shoulders.
How did that make you feel? Just that simple thing, getting a haircut.
I I felt when I was talking to Pete while he was cutting my hair, I felt like one of the guys. I felt really comfortable just sitting there talking because he talked to me like any other guy sitting in the chair, which was the coolest thing. That he was very accepting, and we just had a conversation. And when he cut it off, it was like a very freeing feeling. Um, I've had long hair since I was really young, and I think I kept my long hair as a part of my identity because I was afraid that if I cut it, the feelings that I had about my own gender, it was like I felt like it would get worse if I didn't have long hair. That long hair was like an anchor point for me where it was like, um, this makes me a girl. You know, I have to keep my hair long, otherwise I'm not going to be feminine, and I have to be feminine because I'm supposed to be feminine. And it was like one of the things that I tried to do to cope with the difficulty that I was having. Um, just like dressing in, you know, pink and frilly stuff, and, you know, wearing high heels, all of this, I tried for years and years and years. I tried because I felt like at some point it would fall into place, at some point it would click. And I would just be a woman, and I would accept it, and it would feel cool, like it would be great, you know, and instead it just got worse and worse, and every time I tried harder, it made it worse. So sitting in the chair, it was like, finally, I am getting rid of something that has been an anchor around my neck, um, which is a really cool feeling. And now I still have the ponytail, I haven't sent it in yet, and now when I pick it up, it's like holding somebody else's hair. It's a weird feeling. It's like I can't believe that that was mine and I had that all this time, because I can't tell you how normal this feels now. It just feels like I've had it this way forever.
Ever since when I very first picked you and the boys up, and ever since I had seen you, met you, you wore this red hat. Or a hat, I shouldn't say red hat, but you wore this hat everywhere you went, even sitting in the house,
right
just
up
chilling.
until bedtime. And I used to sleep in it when I was like years ago.
And now, I haven't seen that hat since you got your haircut.
Yeah, I think I put it on one time just to see if it still fit my head, because it was so much less hair, and I put it on and left the house with it. When I came back, I took it right back off because it makes you hot. But I had said the other day, it was like I wanted to just put my whole body in that hat. I wanted to just hide in it, because it felt like I could. It was almost like a disguise for me. It was hiding something I was really self-conscious about, because I couldn't do anything about it at that point. You know, I had not done anything about it at that point. So yeah, I would just like, I'd put my hair in a little, I like to call it a man bun, because it made me feel better, but it was definitely not a man bun. It was like totally like very long hair.
No, you have no hair now for a man bun. No,
it's much better.
It looks very, very, very nice, and I know that Jacoby has just been smiling nonstop ever since the haircuts.
Yeah, it's way better.
So you know, it sounds like what you've described is what most of us transgender people go through, whether we're male to female, female to male, gender dysphoria.
Right.
What would you say to those people who don't believe in that?
I would say that I had no clue what gender dysphoria even was up until maybe 10 years ago, and prior to that, I had no other explanation for those feelings until I learned what it was, and it matched too closely to what I was experiencing to be anything else. I learned that there are different forms of dysphoria. Some people are more aware and uncomfortable with their body. Some people are more uncomfortable with their voice. Sometimes it's just interactions that make you very dysphoric. The way people are perceiving you, you know that you're not being perceived correctly, being misgendered, which is super uncomfortable. And there's no other explanation for that. Like, there's no way to describe it other than the definition, textbook definition of dysphoria, being uncomfortable with your assigned gender. And like in my case, I didn't even know why. Like, I had no idea what it was. I had not really looked into it much because it was my whole life. You know, it was like back when I was a teenager, the internet was like just a thing. Like it was just becoming a thing. Prior to that, you know, it would have taken me forever to go through books to find this information. So I just didn't look for it because I didn't know at the time that there was anything different about me.
You probably wouldn't know what to go
look
for. Yeah.
That's exactly, like, until I heard that term, I had no idea that it was actually like a clinical thing that you could experience as part of another, like, I use the word disorder, but being transgender is not really a disorder. It's just a difference in like brain function, basically. And in my case, I didn't know. You know, I just didn't know. And then when I started watching videos from other trans men and they started describing dysphoria, it was like, oh God, that's exactly how I feel.
How did it make you feel at that point? Okay, for example, I never knew the word transgender until the internet came out.
Right.
And then when I realized that that was talking about me,
Right.
I spent the next 10 years in denial.
Right.
I still could not accept what I was learning.
Right.
What about you? How was that for you?
I was terrified. I was. It was almost like heartbreaking because at the time, I had had children. I had been married and divorced. All of these things that I thought I was supposed to do as a woman to try to make life normal for me.
What society expected
Right.
of you?
The role that I was supposed to play because of who I was. And when I realized that a lot of the things that I had done in my life, the decisions that I had made were based on that rather than what I actually wanted to do, and that I am never going to be able to go back and experience life as a young man. It hurt like hell. It was like, God, like there's nothing I can do now. And even if I had done it when I was younger, if I had said something when I was younger, there's no guarantee that anything positive would have come of it. I might have just struggled with it for even longer, and then knowing on top of that what it was, it would have been even harder. I don't know that I would be here today if I had gone through anything harder than what I went through. Because I just don't know if I would have had the strength to do that. So,
I think a lot of the Florida Trans Prod viewers are going to be privileged and as excited as I am to be a part of your transition and to watch the changes that you're going to go through as you get started now again with the proper transitioning and what you need to do and what you want to do.
Right.
Absolutely. So we're all excited for you. For anybody to realize their authentic self and to start living their life as themselves is just a really wicked cool feeling. A lot of people just, you know, grow up every day being born and just living their life, and they never have to deal with the issues that we've had to deal with. I know at one point, and sadly too many in our community, the trans community, experienced thoughts of suicide.
Right.
It affected me
Right.
big time. Did it ever really affect you?
It did. In my case, I think the only thing that stopped me from having those thoughts and considering them further was the fact that I had kids. If it weren't for them, I don't think I would have felt like I had much of a reason to continue to live this way. Because it was so uncomfortable to just like put on clothes or like have a conversation, and I struggled with it all the time.
What would you say to the to our young followers um, who have not even gotten to that point yet of of doing what they think society says they have to do, getting married, having kids, things like that. So our younger kids who start having these just overwhelming suicidal thoughts, what would you say to them?
I would say, first of all, don't ignore it. Um, you're not alone in that. So many of us have gone through it. I mean, look, I'm 40.
I'm 61.
Right. I mean, this is decades of struggling, and it's not, I'm not encouraging you to struggle for decades, but I would suggest that you find someone to speak to, even if it's someone like from an organization in your area or from here or from, you know, a suicide hotline, anyone that you can speak to and explain what's happening, because if you don't ask someone how you can get help, no one's going to offer it until you're at the point where you're actually doing something to harm yourself. And even if it's, I read somewhere one time, even if it's just the curiosity of what might happen positively in your life from this point forward, there could be wonderful things that could happen for you. But if you take your life, you don't get to even have that possibility. So
Yeah, what's that phrase? A permanent solution to a temporary problem.
right. And in this case, when you're struggling, even if you're not transgender, even if you're part of the LGBTQ plus spectrum, even if you are facing other types of discrimination or struggles in your life, I mean, it's never a fix to end your life, because then there's no chance that anything's ever going to get better, and it can. It really can. There are people out here who will accept you and love you for who you are.
Listen, the Trevor Project is a great resource to reach out to. Reach out to us, Florida Trans Proud, anytime. My phone number is listed on our page. You can drop us a direct message. We can get you the links to several organizations that absolutely want to help you. Suicide is not the answer. I don't care how low you feel, how alone you feel, trust me. We've been there, okay? And I like to think that we're positive influences, positive examples to show that, you know, you can go on and life does become better. And we absolutely want to help you achieve that. Anything else on a personal level that you want to share? I know that we've kind of covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, I didn't say this at the beginning. Share this video, please. Share it. There are so many people out there that need to see this. Share the video. Help us become get that exposure that we need, so that we can reach out and help even more people. So. If you're watching us live right now, thank you so much. Share the video, invite others to come and watch. And if you're seeing this video, you know, tomorrow, 2 days, next week, share it anyway, okay? Because we really do want to be able to help people, but if people don't know about us, then we can't help them. So help us to help everyone else, okay? Listen, Florida Trans Proud, one of the projects that we've wanted to undertake for many years, and we actually felt like it was going to be a few more years before we could delve into this and start tackling this issue. But you know what? Because of everything that I've experienced this past year, everything that Jacoby has experienced this past year, we absolutely recognize that so many others are being affected by this COVID-19 thing right now. And we also absolutely know, because we live it every day, all the discriminations and prejudices that our community faces on a daily basis. Especially now with so many people needing help and reaching out for help. Do you want to take it away and announce this
Sure.
new plan of ours where we want to go?
So, Florida Trans Proud has been in conversation with a couple other local agencies who are involved in preventing and finding solutions for homelessness. And as many of you may know and may have even experienced, and Denise and I have both experienced, homelessness is an issue that affects the LGBTQ plus population 100 times more than many other people in the population. So, particularly because it is much harder in some cases, in many cases, to find a job, to find a place to live where people accept you, to hold that job once they find out that you're trans. Maybe they're not interested in keeping you around anymore, and especially if you're a person of color going through this process, they have it even harder. So it's something that we've both been passionate about. It's something that we've been talking to other people in the community that are passionate about. We're finding that right now, because of COVID-19, there are some gaps in resources. COVID-19 hit, and there were already a number of people experiencing homelessness in Pasco County and obviously throughout the country. But once COVID-19 hit, they started ramping up to get more funding so that they could help more people as they lost their jobs, as family members were lost, as things were happening. But the problem now becomes that they're waiting on this funding to be able to help more people. So there are people sitting without a place to live because the funding isn't available yet. And it could be months before it is. So we decided to go in that direction and to start an initiative to produce some transitional housing here in Pasco County with a particular focus on the LGBTQ plus population, especially people of color, but anyone in general, anyone that we can help. So we're going to start seeking funding. We're working on our strategic plan. We're talking with a lot of other organizations, and we're already part of the Coalition for Homelessness here in Pasco County, but we definitely are getting more involved and becoming more of a key player in that, where we can pick up slack until we gain footing so that we can have a program where we're actually a resource point. So one of the things that we can offer right now is referral. If you're experiencing homelessness in this area in Pasco County and you need help, let us know. We can put you in touch with people that can put you on the list to get help. It may not be immediate, and I hate to say that because I know that homelessness is an immediate need, but it's better than not having someone able to help you. So let us know if we can help you. In addition to that, we're also going to start to develop our YouTube channel, and doing videos like this will be one of the ways that we're doing that. But we also want to kind of put out a call to the community. If you know someone who provides services, provides resources to the LGBTQ plus, transgender, this community, or if you know people who have unique stories that have been through things that they want to share, that they want to give other people, inspiration, any project, any person that you feel might align with our goal, let us know, and we would love to speak with them. We'd love to make a video with them and get their name and their face out and talk about how we're working together. So these are two really big projects for us, and we're looking forward to where this takes us.
You know, you talked about the funding.
Right.
And the funding not being available right now. This is what, only August right now. Well, the funding, COVID-19 pretty much decimated the budgets of all these other organizations and agencies that are in the homeless arena. Yeah, thank you. It just decimated their budgets. So many people needing help, and how can an organization really can't just plan for something like that.
Right.
And so the federal government is stepping up resources to get to these organizations and agencies that are involved in helping people, but it just takes time. And unfortunately, we've been in this homeless, we've been an advocate for the homeless people here in Pasco County for a couple of years now, and we know how frustrating it is. When you're homeless, you're couch surfing, you need something now. And it's just, man, we're learning that you got to jump through the hoops. You've got to do it. It's a bureaucratic nightmare. Once we get up and going, we absolutely are hoping that we're going to be able to not necessarily cut through that bureaucratic nightmare, because I think we're going to have to go through those hoops as well too. But we definitely want to be able to speed up the process, because Jacoby knows firsthand, I know firsthand, when you don't have your own roof over your head, life sucks. Let's just be blunt. It sucks. It's hard, and you need some help now. We're going to find a way to be able to do that. So, listen, if you're ready to come on board with Florida Trans Proud, we would absolutely love your assistance. Hi Zoe, good to see you, hon. You know, if you want to get involved, man, we could listen. Y'all know Denise. I'm so glad that Jacoby's here now to do most of the talking, because you know I screw stuff up left and right all the time.
Not one F-bomb in this whole interview. What are we going to do now?
Good grief. So I think half of the people tune in only just to watch me screw up, you know. Listen, I'm not a social media savvy person. If you got some social media skills and you want to help us out, if you're very YouTube savvy, yeah, savvy. See, I can't talk. Get in touch with us, man. We definitely want your help. We can use it. Come on board, get involved with the organization, because we're here to help our community. We're here to help whoever we can help, but we definitely want to help our trans community, LGBTQ plus community, veteran community, the black community, Hispanic, everybody. Hey, what do you think about this Black Lives Matter thing that's going on?
I think that Black people have every right to be angry and to want violence against them to stop. I think that people who oppose anything they have to say about what's happening to them should just shut up. That's what I think. I think that they need our support, because it's you know, it's not the 1950s anymore. It's not the 1940s. We're not, like, you know, schools have been desegregated. People, you know, black people are allowed to eat at the restaurants. Like, we shouldn't be going through this picket line crap where it's like, you know, they have to stand outside and scream for their rights. Really? Come on. It's so surreal to me to see this, because it's like there were so many strides taken in a better direction, and I know that racism still existed. I know that black people were still experiencing a much bigger struggle than what we knew, but my God, it's like I hate to watch what's happening to them, but at the same time I respect them so much for coming together and standing up for themselves, and I fully support what they're doing. I fully support black people having the same rights as everyone, and having the same protections is the thing. Like, that's the thing. When people kneel at a football game and everybody's angry with them, it's so absurd to me. It's like kneeling is the very least of what they can do to respect their community and the people they've lost, and to ask for an end to the violence. And it's the most outrageous to some people. It's like such a bunch of nonsense. So I want to see things change for them. I think they deserve it.
Absolutely. Florida Trans Proud, we do stand with you. Pasco, Black Lives Matter, National Black Lives Matter. We absolutely stand with you. We have been a little bit visible out on some of these protests here in locally, Newport Richey. Man, yeah, the prejudice, the bigotry, it's coming out. It's very well visible here, and it's just disgusting to see. So
it is.
We are in full support of all the marginalized segments of society: women, Latino, a black, Asian, it don't matter to us, man. To us, life is pretty simple. You're either good people or you're bad people.
Right.
We
Everybody
just don't
should
got
be
time.
respected. You should be respected. Your
Absolutely.
human rights, at the very least, should be respected. No matter who you are or where you come from. You know, people coming into the country from other places, immigrants, whatever, we're all immigrants. You know, very few of us started off here. And we were immigrants for one reason or another. Some people were forced to come here, and some people were, you know, came here voluntarily. No matter where they came from, there's no reason to treat them any differently. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, we're all about equality. We're all about civil rights. We're all about all means all.
correct.
Here at Florida Trans Proud. Listen, that's it for now. It's a very muggy, nasty August Florida evening, so I think we're ready to get back inside the air conditioning. Share our video, drop us a comment, say hi to Jacoby, welcome him to our Pasco community here, and welcome back to getting busy here in the state of Florida. That's it for now. We'll see everyone later on. Say goodbye, Jacoby.
Bye.
See ya.